Happy Tuesday. I apologize. I am about 3 minutes late. I was having some internet technical difficulties here. Um, I went out and I had a meeting with a fellow accountant. He's a CPA this morning, and that was over in Indiana. Our meeting ran a little bit long. Got home, got some really exciting news, and then I couldn't get on here with my peeps. But before I get into our topic for today, let me make sure that you guys can actually hear me. Because, 2 weeks ago, I'm going to keep harping on this. You all let me get on here, and I was just talking and talking and talking for 5 minutes and 18 seconds, and you guys did not let me know that you couldn't hear me. So, right now, I am pulling up LinkedIn. If you were on LinkedIn, remember I can't see you right here. So be sure to say hello, drop down the comments, let me know where you're tuning in from. Person, people, the number keeps fluctuating. On Facebook, say hello, let me know that you can hear me. Let me see. Let me put this on my personal page. All right, cool. So we are live over there. I can hear myself. Got 2 shares. Cool, cool, cool. Let me pull up LinkedIn so I can see their comments too, because I can never see them here on StreamYard. So I see the numbers here. I see the numbers here. You guys still are not saying hello. Up. There goes Kiana. Thank you so much, Kiana. Good morning to you up in New York. All aboard, mate, says Kiana. Look, so I have already been talking accounting and taxes this morning, so I'm already a little bit hyped up. And like I said, I got in, checked my email. I had some amazing news in there about something else I'm working on. So I'm excited. All right, I'm ready for all your questions. Everything you guys got for me today, I am ready. If you're completely new to me, you have no idea who I am. My name is Timalyn Bowens, and as you can see from the swag, I am America's favorite EA. So, as an enrolled agent, I'm licensed through the Internal Revenue Service to represent taxpayers before them. So, in my practice, which is Bowens Tax Solutions, it's a virtual firm located in Louisville, Kentucky. I serve people that owe the IRS $100,000 or more, or if they're actively being audited or being levied, which means the IRS is all up in their bank account or in their paycheck. All right. So today's topic is a question that I get asked. I get asked by prospects. I get asked by professionals. I don't get asked as often anymore because I've shared this in different posts. I may or may not have done a video about it. But I wanted, because, in these live streams, we've been having an open discussion. I wanted to talk to you guys about why I personally chose to become an enrolled agent versus a CPA. And when I say that, I do mean first, because if the opportunity presents itself, and with that, I just mean life be life, and right? Sometimes things don't go as you plan. I do actually intend on sitting for the CPA exam. Now, for what I do, representing taxpayers, do I have to become a CPA? No, I don't. But for me, it's a personal goal because only four, or maybe it's less than now, 4% of all CPAs are Black. It is something that I very much can sit for and do. And why not do that when it gives me the opportunity to had a brain fart. That gives me the opportunity to get another license as it pertains to accounting. Now, as I've shared before, enrolled agent license, covers way more tax stuff, whereas the CPA license is through the state. But I'm going to get into that in a little bit, the difference between the two. And like I said, my story. But I have a question for you all. So if you were here last week, I asked you all to say a prayer for me because I couldn't find my glasses. And apparently, you all either did not pray for me or you all's prayers didn't make it past the ceiling because I am still blind this week with no glasses. All right. So if you see me squinting and stuff, it is not because I have anything against you guys. Nothing over here stinks. I can't see. Okay. I have pretty good eyesight. However, when it comes to like reading my Kindle, watching TV on the computer screen, I cannot see my friends. So let me look over here on LinkedIn really quick because somebody over here is popping up as LinkedIn user instead of their actual name. And I want to be able to see who it is because I want to address you by your name. Okay. All right. So here comes the video. It's loading. So LinkedIn user, and right now, you guys, it's popping on LinkedIn. I know I got more than two people. So LinkedIn user, feel absolutely free to say, hey, this is my name, and you other folks that are live over here on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn user says in 2 years, I will sit for the CPA. So let me know, are you currently an enrolled agent that will be sitting for the CPA exam in 2 years? Or are you a tax professional without either credential right now and you're going to sit for the CPA license or the CPA exam? It is going so slow. And you guys are not popping up as who you are. So let me look on my phone instead. All right, all right. Kiana says, becoming a CPA is an expense that I do not want to incur. Hey, I feel you on that too. If you don't have to take it, take the exam to be proficient in what you do. I mean, you don't have to. Let me see who these people are. All right. So let me go back. And good morning, Ashley. So this LinkedIn user is actually Ashley Mathis. She is an accountant who I met through, I want to say NABA, which is the National Association of Black Accountants. She was the president of the U of L chapter there. So Ashley, thank you for hopping on. Then I also have no idea why you guys are popping up as LinkedIn user, but I have Angelica Wilson. See, I remembered your married name, who recently became an EA within the past year, I do believe, Angelica. So congratulations on that. Good morning, Miss Janice. Thank you for hopping on. I don't think you're getting into the tax business, but Miss Janice, she runs a business locally here in Louisville, and she provides wax services. So if you guys are looking for somebody new, you can definitely go check her business out. But listen, I'm going to stay on topic. Y'all know I struggle sometimes. So let's take a look at why I became let's take a look at why I became an EA versus a CPA. And the reason I'm sharing this with you all is because depending on where you, no problem at all, Miss Janice, depending on where you, I'll say, grew up in your accounting career, you may have a different lens of both of the credentials. And really, as you were pursuing your career in accounting, you have to do what's best for you, right? For some people, those 70, 80-hour weeks, they love it. For some people, being an employee is better than being an entrepreneur. Everybody is not built to be an employee, and everybody is not built to be an entrepreneur. So we have to find what's going to actually work for us and not just take the word of somebody else that has a completely different perspective and experience than we do, okay? So for me, I actually, this time at Angelica, I went to a school, best school in the region, best business school, and accounting program. I Let's argue if you disagree. I graduated from Bellarmine University. They have an amazing accounting program, which gave me the opportunity to be in contact with different CPA firms. Before I started my freshman year, because I had an early entry accounting scholarship, I had the opportunity to meet partners at each of the big four already. All right. So who can say that at 18 years old, just 2 months out of high school, right? So they provided me many opportunities, but the thing that they really, really, really harped on and pushed was becoming a CPA. All right. So with that in my head, because that's what I had knowledge about, I said once I get this 4-year degree, I'll take an extra semester or two to so I can get 150 credit hours, sit for the CPA exam, become a CPA. I'll take time off and do an internship, get a feel for what I wanted to do, and that was all fine and dandy. That was my plan. I did end up taking a semester off, doing a full time internship. Loved my internship. If you all have been here before, you know that I did that in the area of tax. Shout out to Crow. I was with them 3 busy seasons. I got the opportunity to touch a lot of different things. And as I was telling the person in my meeting this morning, I had the privilege to work under some of the best minds in tax um, in the city, in the state, some I would even say in the region. And what that allowed me to do was have the safety of that umbrella to be able to ask my stupid questions, right? Don't fade all into my background, my stupid questions. So with that, it had built in mentorship and guidance. And the majority of people who are mentoring me and guiding me were CPAs. And as I tell you all, part of the thing that you want to do when you're looking for a mentor, you're looking for guidance, you want somebody that is a step or steps ahead of you in the process, right? So these people, some of the most brilliant minds that I know, even to date, were CPAs or they were pursuing the CPA exam. So for me, I was like, hey, I really want to become a CPA because that's a credential that these people that I respect have. All right. And just in case you did not read the disclaimer for this, I have respect, the utmost respect for so many CPAs. Um, all of them, no, because some of them are out here as scam artists. But if you've been following these lives, you know that I said too, it's very irritating, burst my bubble, because there are enrolled agents out here as well, unfortunately, that are also scam artists that don't know what they're doing. They take people's money, they make situations worse. And then I have a client whose situation I have to fix that was made worse by an EA or a CPA. All right. So this live right here is not going to be a bashing session. I'm not talking about CPAs in any way, shape, form, or manner. Nothing that I wouldn't say about an enrolled agent. All right. It's literally just why I chose to go one way over the other. Um, so I did my time there. Like I said, I really enjoyed working with these people, these mentors. They were smarter than me. They helped me avoid hiccups and bumps that they made, which is exactly what you should get in a mentor with guidance, right? So life happened different after the 3 busy seasons with them. I actually left and I graduated college 2 months, 3 months later. I got married, and right before the year ended, I got my child tax credit. So I had a child all within 1 year, right? So I'm no longer at a CPA firm. Um, Louisville, Kentucky school daycare is always on the news. I'm from a smaller town. I wanted to stay home with my daughter, but at the same time, my love for tax law, reading about it, writing about it, explaining it to other people, it didn't go anywhere. So as I was looking at different credentials, I was like, what can I get that will help me with my goal, like lifetime learning? I'm still a lifetime learner. I was talking about that this morning. And for me, the special enrollment exam to become an EA, enrolled agent, made more sense than the CPA exam at the time. So, for those of you that aren't familiar, and it's funny because some tax professionals aren't familiar either, the EA license is the highest credential that the IRS awards. Right? We all know the Internal Revenue Service. That's who's running all the tax stuff. So, okay, that was one pro. Each part of the test dealt specifically with taxes. So for me, it made more sense for me to take the EA exam versus the CPA exam at that time. Yes, Peter, hashtag lifetime learner. Always love to read and learn about new things. And the tax law is ever changing too, right? So for me, being a lifetime learner, I knew after my time with Crow, those 3 seasons, I was like, I know I want to do tax. I don't want to do internal audit. I don't want to do any type of audit. I did bookkeeping just because, like I said, I went to Bellarmine. I knew how to do it, but it didn't really give me any satisfaction. Like I enjoyed helping people, but it wasn't the same as taxes. So I said, okay, what will help me be more proficient in that? With the CPA exam, it has 4 different parts. And with reg, this is what I've heard because I haven't taken the CPA exam, right? I've heard only part of that covers tax law. So taking that into consideration, I was like, why would I take this exam that has 4 parts that cost, I think at the time, $1,000, that may be up now, and it doesn't cover what I actually want to do and be proficient in? Whereas the EA exam has 3 parts and it covers individual taxation, business taxes, so S corporations, partnerships, corporations, nonprofits, all that. And it also covers representation, which is what I ultimately wanted to do. I wanted to be able to step in the shoes of taxpayers and represent them before the IRS. So, although a CPA can do that, they're authorized by the IRS to represent taxpayers. For me, being an enrolled agent made more sense because it gave me the ability to represent taxpayers before the IRS. For me, if I was going to study for an exam, I wanted to study for an exam that dealt only with taxes. Now, like I said, there are some CPAs that, they are in the tax world and they specialize in it. They do their continuing education before that. That could have been a route that I chose. Like I said, for me, the enrolled agent exam made more sense. And like I already said, like the firm I worked at, some of the best tax minds that I've met in my life, my limited 30 some years, right, were CPAs. And again, with mentorship and guidance, I was focused on becoming a CPA because these people that I admired were CPAs as well. But my eyes just hadn't been opened up to the enrolled agent license. All right. So let me catch up on some comments. So, hi, Jamie. So, this is very funny, quick story. So, my daughter's name is Jemiah, right? Just like Mrs. Derrick here. But my daughter's name does have an H on the end. And we grew up as children together. And it's so funny because as my husband and I were looking at names for my daughter, um, he liked the name Amaya for different reasons I'm not going to discuss here now. We decided not to go with that, but his name is Joseph. We put a J on it. And because I called Jamie for so long, it didn't even click until maybe 6 months after she was born that I had named my daughter the same name as one of my very good childhood friends. So thank you, Jamie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Let me see. So speaking of the devil, and not in a bad way, I'm gonna read this comment and I'll tell you guys what I mean. So Anjanette Dantzler says, good for you, Timalyn. Glad I was part of your journey. I also don't have my CPA, but I am now a CFO. All learned on the job for 30 years. The exam studying was brutal, and I had a family and life I wanted to live. And that is another factor, right? And like I said, if the opportunity presents itself and you can be like, well, you can study anytime you want. I have a 9-year-old, a business. If life isn't life in a way where I can take the CPA exam, I do want to take it. Like I said, for me, it's a personal thing. Is it going to make me any better at what I do? No. But am I a lifetime learner and that's a license I'd be interested in? Especially if I'm going to get a return on the investment of study? Absolutely. But I said speaking of the devil because in my tenure with the firm, Mrs. Anjanette Dantzler is one of the first people I saw, and she was actually training. I think both years I was sent to training, and she was one of the people that I admired. And crazy thing is, I didn't even get to let her know at that time. We connected later on social media, and I was able to tell her. But again, talking about mentorship and guidance, if you're going to become an EA, if you're going to become a CPA, you want to make sure you're connecting with people that are further along than you, that are going to inspire you to actually be better and not just do the bare minimum for your CE requirements. They're going to push you to be the best at whichever credential you want to have. All right. So let me keep going. Next, with becoming an EA, because again, lifetime learner, right? Let me pull Peter's comment back up. So going back to being a lifetime learner, for me, doing my research with the EA exam, on my podcast, on my blog, if you follow me at all, you'll see me say that I'm on a mission to fill the tax literacy gap one taxpayer at a time. I didn't know how to articulate it back then, but that has always been part of my mission, who I am. How can I educate taxpayers so they don't end up in a position where they're in tax trouble? Kind of sounds messed up, right? Considering that the bulk of what I do is help taxpayers that are in trouble. But as I'm looking at licenses and organizations to join, for me, again, for me as an enrolled agent, I feel more empowered doing tax representation, but I also feel more empowered with certain organizations that I'm in as an enrolled agent. So I am going to give a organization plug here because I think it's very important for people to understand the power that they have. They just need to tap into it. All right, whether that be with their network, with their credentials. Stepping into your power is everything. So I'm a part of an organization that is called the National Association of Enrolled Agents, right? And one of the things that we do in that organization, and please, NAEA people, don't come from my head right now because I did not participate this year. But each year, we get to fly in, it's called Fly-In Days. Go to Capitol Hill and actually talk to the different congressmen and women. We actually get to talk to people that work in their office that affect the tax laws. We get to listen to them, but most importantly, they get to listen to us. So not only do I have the opportunity to advocate for taxpayers before the IRS, I have the opportunity as an enrolled agent to actually go to the people who are making the tax laws and advocate for the taxpayer right there. That's an opportunity maybe that CPAs do have. I don't know. But I know that as an enrolled agent, I can actually do that on behalf of my clients here in Kentucky. If I want to check in with my clients that I have in Indiana, same thing. So not only am I helping them out in front of the IRS, I'm helping them in the long run by giving that feedback. I got to be a part of a small group who gave feedback to the IRS last year on a phone call. Now, there were certain things, they couldn't ask us, so they couldn't direct any answers. But we got to give them feedback on how different processes were actually affecting taxpayers, how they were affecting us, what it was like to find out that a tax law changed on the internet the same time as the taxpayer without having the opportunity to actually help them with that. This is something that as an enrolled agent, I have the opportunity to do. So not only am I filling the tax literacy gap by educating you, I'm filling the tax literacy gap by also advocating for you as well. And I don't think that tax professionals, enrolled agents, actually realize that they have that much power when it comes to having the EA credential, right? How many tax professionals do you know that can say, I have the opportunity to go to Capitol Hill and actually advocate for my clients with people who make the different tax policies, right? Let me see. What? I have this many people on LinkedIn and you all aren't talking to me? What is really up? Okay, here we go. Here we go. So Karina says, that's cool. Is the feedback only from EAs and NAEA? Or once you're a member, you're able to have the feedback? So Karina, with fly-in days, which is in May, and the reason I didn't participate this year, I actually had something to take care of in Nashville. I wasn't just, sitting here rocking back and forth and playing with my fingers. But NAEA has the fly-in day where we actually get to listen to different congressmen, listen to shoot, I can't even think of the title right now. Commissioner. We get to find out what's going on in the tax world. Then we have the opportunity to meet with our different congressmen, congresswomen, to talk about different policies, to listen, for us to talk to them. That is something through NAEA that you can do. The other opportunity that I had to be in the focus group with the IRS, and actually it was with the taxpayer no, talked to a few groups in the past 18 months. Um, it is open. What happened is they chose NAEA to be a group that they came to ask the questions. And because I'm involved and in different committees and things, my name got put in the hat to be one of the people that had the opportunity to give them some feedback. So, shameless plug, but if you want to further your power with advocating and everything, NAEA, National Association of Enrolled Agents, is a good organization to consider joining. And if you have questions about that, I would be very happy to pass that information along to you. Let me see. So I know that I have quite a few more people than who is talking to me, but I think this is wonderful because this is going to be, I always say I'm not going to be on here for a long time. I think the past few weeks I've been on like 50 minutes to an hour. So I might actually be gone today. I just wanted to have this open discussion because with tax representation, when people find out, like, hey, you can do tax representation if you're an enrolled agent, you can do tax representation if you're a CPA, it makes it harder if you don't have a lot of background information to know which route to actually take. So I just wanted to share from my perspective, especially because as I talk to different tax professionals on the phone, as they're looking at pursuing becoming an enrolled agent, um, they want to know why I chose to become an EA versus a CPA. And like I said, EA first because it made sense. Some of the best tax minds I know, again, are CPAs. Some of the biggest tax messes I've had to clean up have also come from CPAs. So, but the same goes for enrolled agents as well. So, really, you have to fit the credential that's going to make the most sense for you, to see what makes sense for what's going on with your life right now. As I said, I have a 9-year-old. Making it to musicals and all of that stuff right now is way more important to me than putting another set of initials behind my name. Life slows down a little bit. I will probably study and take the test for fun because, again, lifetime learner. Do I have any questions from any tax professionals right now? And there is a lag on LinkedIn. That's why I'm looking here. All right. So I don't see any other questions. No, I have a DM. Just kidding. You all, I mean, you can ask questions in the DMs, but you can put this in the comments too. So, yes, I do have something that I'm launching on September 18th. I don't know if it's a question or a reminder, but either way, thank you. So on September 18th, I am launching the Tax Pros Representation Journey. So it is going to be a private podcast and article subscription, and you can think of it as I took this phrase from somebody else, but I don't think they coined it yet. They don't have it trademarked. But you can think of it as pocket-sized coaching, right? So each Monday morning, I'm going to be on your in your ear podcast style to share with you different challenges and things that have come up along my EA journey and frequently asked questions that I get right now, right? So things such as, how do I get my first client? How do I make sure that I keep getting tax representation clients? How do I actually learn how to do the work? Can you look at these financials for me to see if this client is going to actually qualify for the tax relief solution that I found? I'm going to be sharing these things with you each Monday morning. But then, in addition to that, what you're going to find is that I'm going to give you bite-sized steps to actually reach your goals. So on the podcast, but also in the article as well. So when I'm talking about an article, I'm not talking about a textbook. I'm talking about something that's going to take you 5 to 7 minutes. That's going to have 3 different things for you to do during the week to actually get closer to your goal. In addition to that, you guys are going to be hearing about cases that I'm currently working on or cases that I've already done. So, some of the mistakes that I've made, not the proudest of them, but like I told you all when I was working at the firm, and even with mentors and guides that I have now, the whole purpose of doing that is, or having those people in my life, is so that I can avoid mistakes that they've made. I think I'm pretty smart, but you all, I have made a lot of mistakes. So I will be sharing those with you. Like I said, cases I'm working on, cases that I messed up on, and I had to do way more work than necessary. I'll also be sharing that with you all and the steps that you can implement again so that you don't make those same mistakes. Things that I go through to make sure that my mind is right, to know that I can take on these clients, I can take on the IRS. It's like I mentioned in the video last week, there are times where, even though I've been in the tax industry now since 2011, started out at a bigger firm, I'm like, man, when I get on the phone with the IRS, am I going to know what to say? And I have to remind myself of who I am and be like, yes, I'm going to know what to say. And even if I don't at this time, because I have that community, because I have those mentors and guidance, if I don't know what to say in the moment, I am going to know what to say because I know who I can reach out to that can give me the answer. And I know how to do the research to go find the answer so that I can do what's best for this client. So let me see. Kiana Franklin. My question would be, as I'm studying for the representation part of the exam, what areas should I focus on more? So, ma'am, I have not taken the exam. It has been some years. I shared 4 days ago. September 1st was my anniversary of me taking the last part of the exam. And that is actually when I took the part 3 for representation. Honestly, because they change it so much, I'm not, don't even start me lying. I'm not going to tell you what part for representation you should know. But what I will do for you, I don't see anybody on here right now. Now, Angelica, if you are still on here, feel free um, to let us know like what you had to study for part 3 of the special enrollment exam, like what you had to focus on. But Kiana, honestly, it's not like in a classroom setting. So people that were taking the exam, even when I took it, I was in different SCEs, so special enrollment exam study groups. They were even saying like their part 3 was not like my part 3. So it's not like a uniform test all the way across. Um, and I have slept a lot since then and not slept a lot since then. So I honestly, I cannot answer that question. But going back to it, that is the power of community. If nobody else chimes in, I can get an idea for you from somebody that's recently taken it. But because now, like I said, it has been years, more than half my daughter's life since I took that. I don't know the answer. For those of you hopping on Facebook, drop in the comments, say hello. If I don't have any other questions, I'm going to be dropping off, letting you all go grab lunch for you all in the Eastern time zone like me. I am proud of me. This is the shortest live I have had. And this is how I thought it was going to start out. But I actually, like I said, they've been going 50 minutes, an hour. Last week, you all told me I was preaching. Over on Facebook, you all gave me a little money in the offering plate. All right, so I think I've given enough time for the lag on LinkedIn. Karina says, thank you. You are so very welcome. It is my pleasure to do these each week. If you are interested in the Tax Pro representation journey launching on September 18th, just let me know and I can send you details. Also, in addition to that, September 18th is my 34th birthday. So I am thinking, taking this into consideration, I am thinking about doing something special for the first 34 people that sign up. I don't know what that is yet. What I am looking at doing though, I have a workshop that I do, the back tax negotiation workshop. It's 3 hours. And I actually walk you through the phases of finding the best resolution for your client. So I walk you through how to read the transcripts, fill in the financials, and then make the proposal to the client for which way you should go before you're talking to the IRS. What I'm thinking about doing for the first 34 people that register for, or not register, subscribe to the subscription, is potentially doing a revised version of that class live. So you would have me in person, probably Zoom, so I can see your faces too. But what we would do is go through a, like I said, condensed version of that. So it'd be an hour versus 3 hours. Because in the workshop, people can actually bring their cases that they have and we go through it. So at the end of it, you know, like what your client would be able to afford to pay and all that stuff. Um, hey, Camilla, thank you for joining us. That is what I'm thinking about. If you think that I should do some type of bonus for the first 34 people that register, why do I keep saying register? If you think I should do a bonus for the first 34 people that subscribe to the subscription, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think would be cool if I did for the first 34 people. I have some people that are like, oh, you should do like a phone call or do like a 15-minute one-on-one phone coaching or do something group. I'm open to suggestions. But like I said, I love doing this. Um, so it kind of fills me up. And like I said, it'll be my 34th birthday. So I want to do something special for the first 34 people that subscribe before launch date. So Karina says, how long is the workshop going? Is it only 1 year? So when you say the workshop, do you mean the back tax negotiation workshop or are you referring to the subscription? because the workshop is 3 hours. Like I said, we do start to finish. So ideally, the people would already have their clients' transcripts there. I walk you through how to actually read transcripts. And as I'm going through this, you should be working on whoever your client is. Next, we take a look at financials in the form 433F or A, filling that out. And then that last hour, we're seeing what your client can actually afford to pay the IRS and like what um, supporting documentation you'll need before you actually call and fax that information in. So the back tax negotiation workshop, you can take it if you haven't had any clients yet, just so you know the process to walk through with the stuff. But it's really, really good for people that actually already have a client. The reason I would be doing a condensed version of that, so the workshop by itself is actually $997, so $997. And if you sign up for the subscription, Tax Pro Representation Journey, I will be appreciative, love you for that, but I'm not going to give $1,000 class away for subscribing. So, oh, after I gave that long explanation, Karina said, "Oh, sorry, the subscription." So right now, if you go look at it, it says that the duration is 1 year. That was a default setting. I had to put what the duration is. So what is going on is you are going to get, like I said, each week you have the podcast, which is not going to be over 15 minutes. And then you're going to also get an article. So with that, and you'll see the pricing is monthly. You'll pay for each month. I plan on doing this for past a year. All right. So the default just says a year. If you do it for a month and you're like, you know what? I love Timalyn, not the subscription so much, you can cancel at any time. So you're not stuck in it for a year, because I know the information is going to be valuable and good, but you have to be able to, one, listen to my voice for 15 minutes every week, right? I know that everybody can't vibe with me. And I have hated in my career where I was in a class, in a mastermind, mentor group, whatever you want to call it, and I had to pay in full, or maybe I didn't have to pay in full, but I was stuck. So there's no contract that makes you stuck. It says a year. Like I said, I plan on doing it past the year. What will happen if you subscribe is for the first 12 months, the payment will come out automatically unless you cancel. And then at the end of 12 months, you have to resubscribe. All right. So you're not stuck in it for a year. It is going to actually be monthly. Karina, thanks for talking to me. Anybody else that has questions, feel free to ask them. I'm going to actually close my inbox so I can't see that. You guys need to ask your questions in the comments. Karina says, yes, I think you should do something special for the first 34 people. Not sure what that something should be. I'm going to work on that, because the thing with it is, so with the subscription, like I said, you're going to be hearing me every single Monday. You can still tune into these, but of course, with the paid subscription, it's going to be more niche down. That is going to be more to the point, if it makes sense. So I'm not going to have as much story time unless it's getting the point across, because remember, in that 15 minutes, I'm giving you 3 steps to implement. So in addition to that and the articles, there is actually a space within, it's not an app, you can download it as an app, but there's a space for you to actually talk to me. So if you were having an issue with whatever I was talking about on the podcast, you can actually write to me about that. You can write other people about it. You can put it in a forum so like everybody can respond. If you're having an issue with the case, you can write to me about that as well. So it's not like you are only listening to me, only reading what I'm saying. You do actually have the opportunity to write and get my feedback as well. So let's say, for example, I already know that week 2, you're going to have some homework. There's going to be a challenge to actually get your name out there and get you clients. And that's whether you have passed the exam or if you have not. Because, like I've said in other videos, you can't fully represent clients until you're credentialed, but you can still help them and do the paperwork. If you want to be able to offer them full representation, you can team up with somebody that is credentialed. All right, because I'm sure we're going to have both credentialed and uncredentialed in the community. We're going to have a challenge. I'm going to be putting stuff in the community to check in with you guys to see how you're doing with the challenge. Because that's the thing. I'm not going to just pop in on Monday, love you, and leave you. I'm going to actually be in the community as well to make sure that you all are doing all right with implementing the steps that I've given you, to check in and see what your results have been from implementing those steps. And like I said, if that's not your style, it's not working for you, you can leave at any time. So for those first 34 people, I may do a poll from people that have reached out to me. Maybe I'll do a one-on-one, like 15, 20-minute coaching session, right? For those first 34. Maybe I will do like some type of group class about how to actually read the transcripts or how to actually fill out the paperwork when you're trying to see what the client actually qualifies for. Because as I remind people all the time, a taxpayer's definition of broke and the IRS definition of broke are not the same. So how do you determine what the IRS definition of broke is for your client so that they're paying the least amount as legally possible? Alrighty, I see I still got people hopping on, but if I don't have any other questions, you guys are going to have to catch the replay. If you were catching the replay, hashtag replay. If you have any questions that pop up for you as you were watching this, feel free to pop those into the comments. I will come back and answer those, but pretty sure I am caught up with the lag. I will drop the link to the subscription in the comments on both Facebook and Instagram. Not Instagram, all this meta stuff. I'm going to drop the, excuse me, I'm going to drop the link in the comments for LinkedIn and Facebook. And apparently I need to take a nap. I'm stumbling over my words. But you all have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon, and I will talk with you all next week, unless you send me a comment. All right, then. Bye bye.